Breaking news, I'm just Ken, and anywhere else, I would be a 10. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. You already know what's up. Today I'm going to be giving an editing breakdown of my multi-award winning short film, Grandma's Garden. If you haven't seen the film already, I'll link it here. It's a super fun project that I love, and I'm really glad I get to break it down for you. I'd love to do more of this editing type content in the future, so if you'd like to see more, make sure you like this video and subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Without further ado, let's get into the project. Alright, here I am in DaVinci Resolve. This is the full timeline for Grandma's Garden. I am running at quarter resolution with no color grade because I'm not trying to blow up the tri-state area. Here's the full timeline. It's all color coded. I could tell you what the colors mean. I'm sure it made sense to me when I was originally editing. Since I haven't looked at it in a while, God only knows. So first things first, we've got the text here. The fade into red is super simple. This is two text layers on top of each other. One of them is red, one of them is normal. So there's the white text and there's the red text. And so when the white text fades, it fades into the red text, which is already fading out. Super subtle, but adds a ton. You can see some split audio clips here, and I think it's because the lights were really loud. So anytime I wasn't talking, it was really prevalent. And so I just got like some quiet room tone right here. So you would never know. Here we get into Jerry's scene right here. It cuts back and forth between me and the cat. Now, the cat is played by my ride or die, Mr. Nick Barrett, who's on the Nerdiest podcast, if you know. And if you've listened to any of the podcasts, you can instantly recognize his voice because it's so unique and iconic. He has such a podcast voice. And so once you hear that original, hello, you're like, oh yeah, that's Nick. There's no way that's not Nick. We had so much fun with this cat puppet here where he was behind the wall and had it up, and then he had this microphone down with him recording audio on my computer because I didn't want to do like ADR after where you record the audio over it because I wanted it to sync up. So I was like, just do it live. Like you can be down here with a microphone and like record the actual audio that you're saying here because I want to minimize editing. Now I said I didn't want to do re-recording lines, but I kind of had to in one spot because here when I was doing the no and I was saying no, this is actually dubbed over. I wasn't talking loud enough when we actually recorded, and so the lights were still really loud and it got too much. So I have yet to have someone tell me that it sounded like it was dubbed over, so I'm gonna assume it was a success. All right, we get the close-up of the cat.
Daddy?
This is kind of the point of the film where you realize something is wrong. I pull out the Glock, which is actually just a Nerf gun from my house. Cuts to wide. Now this is the gunshot, and it's fake. It's a Nerf gun. It's not real, okay? That's the point. Yeah, I stole this from YouTube wholeheartedly. You will learn how often I steal assets from YouTube very soon. There's a lot of just stuff from YouTube here. But I also don't pay for like story blocks or any of that stuff. So this is like the best free option. And I don't think people realize how many good resources like that are just on YouTube royalty free for you to take. And there is actually another video layer here because it's shooting over the pole because the gun is supposed to be behind the pole because I'm behind the pole. And so there is another layer here of just the pole. And so this is the same video here, but cropped to just be the pole. Free YouTube VFX are free for a reason, you know, but you can do your best with what you've got. This is me making lemons out of lemonade? Hold on. Shoot the cat, cuts to TV static with bars. This is also from YouTube. What are you gonna do? And then we cut to Gavin doing the water ad, which is so iconic. When we were writing this, I needed an infomercial that was funny, that made no sense, that could not actually be real, and I needed it to be as ridiculous as possible just to add to the visceral feeling of, did he just shoot the cat? Wait, what am I watching now? What is he doing? What is this? This order now graphic, I made this in Canva. If I open it up right here, one that says order now and one that doesn't. And so by putting them together like this, it just creates a super simple 2-frame animation. And then I just nested it all together and put it in one. Now you will notice that there is green on all this. That is because I don't have Canva Premium, or at least I didn't when we did this. And so I made the graphic and then put a green screen on the back and then color keyed. Did the 3D keyer in DaVinci. When I came up with this concept, I knew that it would only sell if the show looked really real. And I thought, like, well, if I'm just on some crappy green screen or I'm on my front porch outside, and if it doesn't look like it could be a show, then it doesn't sell. I don't want to ask the audience to suspend their disbelief and say, oh, this isn't a bedroom, this is a TV show, this is a kid's show, guys. Like, just pretend it's a kid's show, because the audience is a lot smarter than that, and they see through that crap so easily. Anyway, we're back to me on stage with the sunflower. Gavin plays the sunflower, and he did such a good job. I'd also like to bring up how terrifying this puppet is by itself, and that's why I wanted to use it. I didn't even have to have the puppet say anything weird. That puppet's just terrifying. Look at those googly eyes and that big old mouth. Gavin is under this patch of sunflowers with his arm up like that, and he had a microphone he was holding. I have a really good picture. I was back there with him giving directions, and I was holding the script, and it was really fun. My favorite part of this whole film is when the puppet comes up. It's like,
what happened to us?
Because it's so gross. I didn't think this would be the iconic line of the film, but that's the one I've heard quoted back to me the most is, give me a call when you come to your senses. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. It's so bad. I love it so much. Also, something really cool happens here where he says, give me a call when you come to your senses. And then it's like this long pause of looks directly in the camera, and then it's instantly phone rings, and I love that so much. Also a joke that I didn't think landed as much as I wanted it to, where I get up and fall down. So while the phone's ringing, I get up and I go, ah! Fall to the floor. This is a reference to Sonny the Sunflower earlier saying, not even the ability to tie his own shoes. And so when he gets excited to go answer the phone, he falls down because his shoes are untied. Before I move on, a little thing about the room tone right here. If you don't know, room tone is like the sound of a room that's added to a film to make it feel more natural. Because if it's just dead quiet, then it's gets kind of awkward and feels unnatural. Well, room tone was like the one thing we forgot to record while on set, which is really bad, by the way. And so what I did, if you go in here, so anytime there was a gap in dialogue when we were recording, I clipped it out and put it in this timeline and faded it together to just get the sound of the room. When you're on a timeline, you make some questionable editing decisions. And I'd like to say, I'm not sorry. Anyway, that's the room tone between these scenes. Go back to the studio where I pick up the phone. All the kid voices in this on the phone are either me or Gavin, because editing was such a crunch that I really wasn't like, all right, let me go find some kids to record some audio. And so I recorded it and was just just sounded like a kid the best I could.
Hi, my mommy says I should eat my vegetables, but I think they're gross.
And then put it into Logic Pro and use some Lil Alter Boy on it, which is a plugin that we used for our song Cake in a Mug to do a children's choir. Acting on the phone is kind of hard because you're like, the timing is weird. But also sometimes we would cut to the other angle. So it'd be like, oh, if the timing wasn't right, I could cut to the other angle and either add or remove some time. And so that's why when you're doing phone scenes, you should do at least 2 angles because you can just cut between and it's super easy. That's all I'm saying. Little tip for the road. You can take that one to the bank. This is my favorite joke setup throughout the whole thing. Is the slow push in and giving a really honest and earnest answer of man, this is why your parents are fighting. And it's was trying to make it as legitimate as possible because all the other answers were kind of dumb or funny or meant to be scary. But this one was no, this is my genuine answer. And then it's completely undercut with
Is it my my fault?
Yeah, probably. So I take a second, which this actually worked out really well. This wasn't intentional, but I like take a second of like, okay. But that gives time for the audience to calm down for after that big joke, and they go, "Oh my gosh, ah," and then they calm down, and it's like, oh, he's actually kind of sad now. He's hurt. Like I walk off, and Nick was on the camera, and he didn't know I was gonna walk off, and so there's an audio of him that made it in the film where he's like, "Do you want me to stop the camera?" Do you want me to stop it? Or like he was so confused, and I love it, and I left it in, and I love it so much. The music here is my favorite part, like audio wise. This music is all from Soundstripe. Like the little like bells is so creepy. But I also, if you look at the audio down here, I let it fade into different versions of this track. So it's this track, and then it fades into this version, which is minus 56 cents. Pitch it down. And then at the end, it fades into this version, which is minus 82. So it just gets like creepier as it goes on. We did that, credits fade in. And this is, I did a black solid at 20% opacity just so that the text was easier to read. So it just darkens this video a little bit to make the text easier to see. But I also hate keyframing stuff. It's so frustrating. So that's kind of my easier alternative. I don't know if it's cheap. It's what I like to do. I had a lot of fun putting together these credits because every name in here is an Easter egg. Alan Smithy is the name that people put on film credits when they don't want their name on a film. And I was just like, man, if someone was editing this show of this guy like totally going berserk and like killing cats and stuff, he probably wouldn't want his name on this, so Alan Smithy can be the editor. I'd also like to say that Laura Murphy is a VeggieTales reference, which isn't the only VeggieTales reference in this film. When the kid calls and says,
I accidentally broke my dad's Bugatti limited edition collector's plate, and I lied about it.
That is absolutely from The Big Fib from Outer Space, which is an iconic VeggieTales. Harlow Doyle, that is absolutely the detective from Adventures in Odyssey. So there's that. Freezes, and we go to VHS. Originally, I thought about putting the whole movie, the whole film in like an old VHS look. But once we recorded it on the red Kimono 6K, I was like, this is too gorgeous to destroy, to make it look old. So you have your base video with a scan line effect. This is built into free DaVinci Resolve, highly recommend. Throw it on there, do the scan lines, and then the color track that was darkening it a little bit, and then the text, but it's not animated so that it freezes with it. And then this free overlay from YouTube. It gets that pause, and then another one to make it look old. And there you go. You got your VHS look. And I put this all into a timeline so that I could pull the whole thing out. Now that I say I could not be happier, I'll tell you what I would have changed. I would have actually recorded room tone. That's important. I think some of these shots, the focus isn't near as crisp as I'd like it to be. You know, that's kind of the thing. This was my first short film, and so I was just kind of like doing whatever. I mean, Nick came in clutch. He made a whole shot list for this thing, and I didn't think I understood the benefit of having an audio guy until this film when we filmed, because Gavin's not film, he's just music and audio, and he's so good at it. So glad they were there. They killed it. I had so much fun. I love editing it. I'm really glad you get to see it on YouTube now. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't seen the film, it's a little weird that you made it this far in this video, but it will be linked above and below. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more content like this, let me know. This was so much fun. I love talking about editing. I love editing. Editing is my passion, and so thank you so much for watching. If you want more like this, let me know. Leave a like, subscribe, drop a comment. Thank you so much again. I will see you in the next video. Bye!